I was on the job 6 months, and they made me a field training officer, which meant that I trained a guy that just got out of the academy, or was in the academy and had to go into a district for a couple of weeks for training. So his name was Anthony Elliott. And Anthony's father was a police sergeant. So I figured Anthony, he's a good guy. This was on the day shift. So I told him, come on, we'll go get a cup of coffee at the Silver Grill over at 14th and Halsted. So we go in there, and just as we're pulling up, robbery in progress, 729 West Maxwell, J-Mar Jewelers. I said, ooh, Anthony, we better take that in, we're right around the corner. So I go over to Union and go down the wrong way, and we come in on Maxwell going westbound, pull up in front of 729. And I get out of the car, I'm on the driver's side, and there's 4 stick-up guys coming out of the front of the store, and we start shooting each other. So I got 3 of them shot, and the other guy, he starts heading west towards the Dan Ryan, where they had their car parked, and I took a shot at him. I thought I hit him. So I got these 3 guys laying there, you know, in a doorway, which is probably a little bigger than this area that I'm seated in. And all the squads start coming in, and Sergeant Walter Murphy, who retired as a deputy superintendent, pulled up and he says, "What do you got, Vince?" I says, "Walter, we got a bona fide stick up. This is bad." He says, "Where's your partner?" I said, "I don't know." I said, Anthony, are you all right?" Here's Anthony. He went and hid under the squad when he heard the shots. So I says, wait a minute. So those are, when you talk about, yeah, and he said in his Irish way, "Oh my God, my father never told me," but this was like the kid's 3rd day on the job. And, you know.
Well, you hadn't been on the job very long either.
No.
So, wow.
But you're like, you know, in those days we used to say you're no longer a rookie after your first night.
Yeah.
And the 3 guys we got, 2 of them unfortunately didn't make it. The one guy did. And the 4th guy, he showed up that night. We got him. I told the robbery detectives, I said, "Can I work on this case with you?" Because, you know, he said, sure. So we got him out at St. Bernard's Hospital at 67th and Harvard, right off the Dan Ryan. I shot him in the buttocks.
Oh.
Yeah. And he got in the car, and they were all from Cleveland. And they headed back, and he was headed back to Cleveland, and I guess his butt was sore, so he figured he'd make a stop and get a hot patch on it. Anyway, those are the kind of, you know, I mean, I've had some, as a policeman, short time, I think I accumulated about 65 honorable mentions and commendations.
I was going to say, you probably should have gotten some kind of award for that.
They do, yeah. In those days, they give you away.
But that's a pretty scary situation to be in.
Oh yeah, anytime.
I mean, you have to kind of react.
Anytime you're in a situation where someone else has a gun, you know, I mean, I was in lots of situations where on the other side of that door was a guy with a weapon. And you open that door and he's got people back there he's holding hostage or threatening. You know, you got to make the right decision, and you don't have a lot of time to do it.
It's a very, yeah, it's a tough job, let me tell you. That's not an easy thing to do. So then, how did you get selected to be on the mayor's personal security detail?
Well, you know, like I said, I was working out of the Monroe, Maxwell area. And the night of the superstorm, the commander had asked me to take him up to St. Pius Church, which was at 19th and Ashland, a very prominent Catholic church up there. And myself and Bill O'Malley, who was in law school with me, I said, "Come on, Bill, we were in an unmarked police car. We were in soft clothes. And the commander in the back seat, I drove. And I said, "Come on, Bill, we'll go up there." And the snow started falling. I'll never forget it because it just kept on coming and coming and coming. And cars just kept on stopping in the middle of the road, and people walking away, and buses and trucks. And it was like trying to drive around a checker game. And you just couldn't. So I wound up at the corner of 18th and Blue Island in Loomis intersects there at 18th and Blue Island. And I looked ahead on Blue Island, and I looked and I said, wow. I said, Bill, why don't you and the commander walk over there? I'll never get through all this traffic, and he's got to be at that meeting. And Bill got out with the commander, and they walked, and I was going to meet him at the church. So I'm sitting at the corner of Blue Island and Loomis at 18th there, and a guy walks up, well-dressed, heavy top coat on, and he looks at me, and he says, is this a squad car? I says, it's an unmarked police car. Yes, sir. He says, well, I got the mayor of Chicago across the street in the currency exchange. Could you give us a ride to St. Pius? And I looked at him, I said, you know, it just took me an hour and a half to drive about 4 blocks. Would you please play in your games? You got the mayor, you go bring him there. So he walked over, and he brought the mayor over, and I put the mayor in the back seat. And he went in the front seat. I didn't know who he was, but I knew who the mayor was.
Yeah.
And so I put him in the back seat, and we started to go down Blue Island. I tried to maneuver around. I got to the corner of 19th and Blue Island, and there was just nowhere to go. And I looked at the mayor in the back seat. I said, Mr. Mayor, would you mind walking? Fine, fine. No, fine. So the guy in the front seat that originally made the contact got out, the mayor got out, I got out, and I grabbed him, but I still got no boots on. So I took my boots off, I gave them to him. And I walked arm in arm. Well, that's the way I am. Walked arm in arm over 19th to St. Pius, and I walked in, and all the police bosses are looking, what's this guy up to? And the mayor looked around, and he says, would you make sure Vince you stay and take me home tonight? So I took him home. I got the cars all in. His cars are broken down. That's what happened. And I took him home that night, and he says, I'll get a hold of you. Yeah, I'm a young guy. And some time went by, and I got a call to go to the superintendent's office and the mayor's office, and we talked about coming onto the detail. I said I'd be honored. You know, I was going to law school. He said whatever you need to do, and it's really how it came together. You know, so
that's a great story.
An ugly night of snow can turn into something that's very good, and
Yeah.
that really changed my whole career.
Yeah.
Meeting him that night changed my whole career.
Guy gets in the back seat of your car, and your life different.
Yeah,
That's
it's unbelievable.
So what was a typical day like when you
So well, when I started, I would just you'd break in. You'd have an advanced guy to go out and check out if he was coming to the Historical Society and for a ribbon cutting or a reception. Somebody would go and they'd make arrangements with the contact, and that would be your advance. And you had a tail car in case the big car broke down. So the mayor was very active, just like his son. Very, very active. He loved his city, and his day would start at St. Peter's, the church every day.
Right.
You go in there, go down in, and they'd have a shoe shine at U.S. Shoe Repair on Clark, and then go to the office. And he'd work all day, and then at night he'd attend functions or go to wakes. We'd go to some nights 5, 6, 7 wakes a night. But there was a lot to be said about it, because when he walked into a wake, everybody really felt like, wow, we're special.
Right.
Made a lot of difference.
And so during the day, he would be going out sometimes too.
Oh yeah, we'd go. I mean, we do ribbon cuttings, we do tree plantings, we do receptions, luncheons. You know, it's pretty much what the current mayor's schedule, or any political guy. They're all very into it. His love for the city was just incredible. Times were different than they are today, but the idea of reaching out to as many people as he could was the solution to show that we can make the city work if we all join together.
Right. So he really wanted to make himself approachable and present in the city?
Oh, yeah,
throughout
he
the
was a
city?
regular guy. He just, you know, he'd go to the ward meetings at 37th and Halsted on Saturday morning and with the precinct captains and, you know, I mean, and talk to them and say, hi, Mike, how are you, how's the kids? And he's just a regular person, yeah.
So no, you didn't really see any difference between his public and private sort of person. He was really the same
Always
person.
the same. No, he never changed. He was a great family man, and he loved the city, and he did everything he could to make it workable. And you know, those were tough, challenging times. You know, the hippies and peace movements, and you know, the school systems, housing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those were the embryonic stages of it. Nobody really had solutions.
Yeah.
Nobody had, because nobody knew what to do.
Right.
You know, do we build more schools? Do we build more high rises? You know, and we find out now it wasn't. Today, it's just magnificent. I was out in Hyde Park yesterday looking at something, and the neighborhoods that were just dilapidated and run down, beautiful, beautiful homes west of Hyde Park along 63rd. As a young kid, I used to shop at 60. My parents used to take me to 63rd and Halsted. And that was like going downtown in those days. Right. And that neighborhood, it all changed. Today, it's nice. It's homes. It's townhomes.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that Mayor Daley considered himself a reform mayor.
He really was. He was. He had a lot of challenges, and you know, you know, the city was changing. The schools were his number one priority, and I think he was right on target. If we don't have good schools, people don't want to live in the city.
Right, that's the way you get the middle class.
And that's where you got to start. You got to give people the opportunity to give their kids a good education.
Were there many threats on his life that?
You'd get people once in a while, but you know, nothing of any serious nature. You know what I mean? Yeah, nothing where there was a real, you know, overt attempt or conspiracy. You'd get people that
mouthing off.
Yeah, that might say stuff, but not really follow through on it. You know, because of issues. I mean, you get that all the time now.
Yeah.
I mean, I graduated from the FBI Academy and then the Secret Service Academy. So you know, you really had a pretty good idea how to filter through.
Yeah, I read about. What was that like? That experience with the FBI?
Oh, it was interesting. I was at Quantico at the Marine Base.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. I mean, I was a young guy, and then I went over to Bethesda, the Secret Service Academy, and spent time there. Lived in Washington for a while I was going to school out there. And yeah, it was good training. It was, you know, as a young man, I picked up a lot, and very, very, very helpful.